Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India, India's voice to the world. This is News Hour. My name is Mark Lin. Namaskar. Coming up in the next hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates the mega campus of Boeing India in Bengaluru. He hails Make in India, Make for the World, and says the project shows the confidence of the world in Indian talent.
ये मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर द वर्ल्ड इस संकल्प को सशक्त करता है.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates the 6th Khelo India Youth Games in Chennai. Says Indian sports industry is estimated to reach nearly $12 billion in the coming years. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar participates in the 19th NAM summit hosted by Uganda. Over 120 developing countries deliberate on the theme, deepening cooperation for shared global affluence. The meeting of the World Economic Forum in Davos concludes on Friday, and in his closing remarks, the President, Borge Brende, says collective efforts needed to face global challenges alone. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Boeing India Engineering and Technology Center in Bengaluru. It's Boeing's largest investment facility outside the United States and costs around 1,600 crore rupees. It is spread across a 43-acre campus and has a special emphasis on promoting women's participation in the aviation sector.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday inaugurated the new state-of-art Boeing India Engineering and Technology Centre campus in Bengaluru, the capital of India's southern Karnataka state.
ये मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर द वर्ल्ड इस संकल्प को सशक्त करता है. ये कैंपस भारत के टैलेंट पर दुनिया के भरोसे को और अधिक मजबूत करता है. आज का ये दिन इस बात को भी सेलिब्रेट करता है कि एक दिन भारत इस फैसिलिटी में एयरक्राफ्ट ऑफ द फ्यूचर को भी डिजाइन करेगा.
Built with an investment of rupees 1,600 crores, the 43 acres campus is Boeing's largest such investment outside the USA. The Prime Minister said that this facility demonstrates India's commitment to drive global tech, research and innovation, design and demand.
बोइंग का ये नया ग्लोबल टेक्नोलॉजी कैंपस भी बेंगलुरु की इसी पहचान को सशक्त करने वाला है. ये अमेरिका के बाहर बोइंग कंपनी की सबसे बड़ी फैसिलिटी होगी. इसलिए ये फैसिलिटी भारत ही नहीं बल्कि पूरी दुनिया के एविएशन मार्केट को एक नई ताकत देने वाली है.
The Prime Minister also launched Boeing Sukanya program, which aims to support entry of females from across India into country's growing aviation sector. He said the government is committed to creating new opportunities for women in the aerospace sector.
मैं गर्व के साथ कह सकता हूं कि आज भारत के पायलट्स में से 15% विमेन पायलट्स हैं. और इसका महत्व तब समझ में आएगा कि ये ग्लोबल एवरेज से 3 गुना ज्यादा है. आज जिस बोइंग सुकन्या प्रोग्राम की शुरुआत हुई है उससे भारत के एविएशन सेक्टर में हमारी बेटियों की भागीदारी और बढ़ेगी।
Chief Operating Officer of Boeing said that the new campus inaugurated by PM Modi reflects India's engineering legacy.
Today marks the latest chapter in decades of collaboration and partnership between Boeing and India. Prime Minister Modi, your focus on growth of aviation in India has been instrumental in making these programs a reality today. This new campus is a testament to Boeing's engineering legacy and our belief in the availability, depth of talent, and capability that exists here in India.
Boeing views India as an emerging superpower and a global avionics hub for future. Boeing, therefore, wishes to double its investments in India, and with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Atmanirbhar and Make in India, this opens up an ocean of opportunities for Boeing and other aerospace industry. With cameraman Shiv Shuman, Aisha Khanam, DD India, Bangalore.
Well, India's aviation sector has added many miles and destinations in the last 10 years. Domestic aviation is seeking a surge of over 7%. In fact, it's seeing a surge of over 7% from the pre-COVID levels. And the sector is also creating many industry jobs and opportunities for supply chain vendors. This report puts into context the aviation sector in India. The Indian economy is the fastest growing large economy in the world. Often aviation terminology is used to describe economic growth. The economy has taken off and is now climbing higher because of an enabling business environment across various sectors. India is the third largest domestic aviation market and is growing fast. The number of airports in the country has doubled from 74 in 2014 to 148 in April 2023, as have the number of aircraft from around 400 in 2014 to over 700 now. There are plenty of orders in the pipeline. On the 18th of January, Akasa Air tied up with Boeing for 150 737 MAX aircraft.
Today, the largest order aircraft by Akasa with Boeing 737, 150 aircraft. Today, India has become the largest purchaser of aircraft in the world after the US and China. That is the potential that India represents. And therefore, our fleet size is going to grow from 713 to upwards of 2,000 in the next decade.
Just last month, India's Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia informed India's Parliament that air passenger numbers have grown from 60 million in 2014 to 145 million in 2023. Recent passenger numbers are showing a remarkable 7.4% surge above pre-COVID averages.
International majors have finally seen the silver lining with regard to setting up operations in India. Almost all international majors today have their foot firmly implanted on the ground in India. From Raytheon to Collins Aerospace to Boeing to Airbus to Safran, across the board.
Over the last 9 years, the Regional Connectivity Scheme and the Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik Udan Scheme have created 517 routes connecting 76 airports, 9 heliports and 2 water aerodromes. The Directorate General of Civil Aviation in a statement said that 18.12% of the 1,622 commercial pilot licenses issued in 2023 were to women pilots. Women now also work in air traffic control, fire services and airport operations as well. India operates a wide network of international flights with service agreements across 116 countries. There is direct connectivity to more than 52 countries and indirectly more than 100 countries are connected. Clearly, Indians have taken to the skies. Bureau Report, DD India. Well, after Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the new state-of-the-art Boeing India Engineering and Technology Centre campus in Karnataka's Bengaluru, our correspondent Aisha Khanam caught up with Boeing India CEO Salil Gupta. Here's their interaction.
It's a big day for Boeing India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurating this campus here, the facility here is the biggest facility, and Boeing India looks at investing in India furthermore. And let's talk more about this facility and what Boeing has in store for India. To talk more about it, I have with me the CEO, Salil Gupta.
We were extremely blessed to have the Honorable Prime Minister join us here today for the inauguration of a couple of very important initiatives. One is this world-leading center, unique, where the future of flight will help to be designed. It supports programs around the world, but also is a big supporter of programs and helps design for India as well. At the same time, the Prime Minister inaugurated the Boeing Sukanya Women's Program, which will create a new generation of female pilots, engineers, technicians, and that is going to make India, which is already a leader for women in aviation, the permanent global leader for women in participation in this industry.
Right. In terms of technology, how do we explain to a layman, a common man, that this facility, which is like an avionics hub for Boeing India, how does this add up, to your strength in the supply chain?
Well, India has has traditionally had strengths in engineering. Over the last decade and a half, what you've seen is India's quality in manufacturing also come up the curve very rapidly. And you're seeing this in all industries. You're seeing smartphones being made here in high volumes. And that shows how far India has come. When you combine engineering with the highest quality manufacturing, you have a tremendous opportunity for India to participate in the global supply chain in defense and aerospace.
So how do you see these initiatives by Prime Minister Narendra Modi taking forward the industry, and how does Boeing view the ocean of opportunities in line with PM's vision?
Well, the ocean of opportunities is right. And India is, as the Prime Minister noted, the third largest domestic aviation market in the world, quickly growing in international. Within the next decade, it'll be the third largest market, period, across all sectors for aviation. And so that means that there's going to be well over 2,400 aircraft coming into India over the next 20 years. That is over 10 deliveries every single month. And so you're going to need 37,000 pilots, 38,000 mechanics to fly and take care of those aircraft. And so there's a lot of work to be done as it relates to the ecosystem for those aircraft.
Are we seeing girls fulfilling their dreams? Are you giving wings to them?
That's the goal of the Sukanya program. So over the last year, we announced a $100 million investment in training overall for curriculum and for simulators to further increase the capacity for pilot training in India. And that is being executed as we speak. With the Sukanya program, we're adding on to that additional investment to ensure that some of those pilots, or many of those pilots, are indeed women. And it gives me so much joy when I bring my own daughter onto the plane and the pilot that comes on the announcements is a woman, and I can tell her with pride that we're contributing to that. And you should see the smile on her face when she hears the woman pilot speaking. It is really an amazing thing.
Thank you very much for talking.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of several development projects in Solapur in the western Indian state of Maharashtra. These are under the Amrut, or the Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, these projects. Solapur is also in southern Maharashtra, and the Prime Minister also handed over more than 90,000 houses built under the Prime Minister Awas Yojana to the people. Let's look at this report.
For thousands of women in the rural area of Solapur, in the southwestern region of the Indian state of Maharashtra, Friday was a dream come true day when the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the largest housing project in Raynagar under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban. The moment was so energetic that the Prime Minister had to take a pause during his speech to let the beneficiaries express their excitement. Defining the Modi Guarantee, the Indian Prime Minister said that the Modi Guarantee is the guaranteed guarantee. PM said that his government has uplifted 25 crore people from poverty line and believes in good intention, policy and strong commitment.
आप जानते ही हैं, मोदी की गारंटी यानी गारंटी पूरा होने की गारंटी। साथियों, जब हमारी सरकार ने गरीबों को सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता देते हुए काम किया, गरीब कल्याण की अनेक योजनाएं शुरू की, तो इसके नतीजे भी निकले। हमारी सरकार के 9 वर्षों में 25 करोड़ लोग गरीबी से बाहर निकले हैं।
Prime Minister Modi also promised that the country will be in the top 3 economy in the days to come. He made an appeal to the poor families not to circumscribe their dreams, as he's there to make a way for them to achieve their dreams.
हमारी केंद्र सरकार के तीसरे कार्यकाल में, अगले मेरे कार्यकाल में, भारत भी दुनिया की टॉप 3 अर्थव्यवस्था में शामिल होने वाला है। और मैं आपसे कहना चाहता हूं, जो नए घरों में रहने जाने वाले हैं, आप बड़े बड़े सपने देखिए, छोटे सपने मत देखना। और ये मोदी की गारंटी है, आपके सपने ये मेरा संकल्प है।
Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde was also present at the event. Maharashtra Governor Ramesh Bais, the Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, and Ajit Pawar, founder of Raynagar Cooperative Federation Society Narsaya Narayan Adam, were also present at this occasion. Yogesh Sheetal's report for DD India.
And still to come here on DD India News Hour. The World Economic Forum concludes in Davos in Switzerland. India announces a new alliance for global good, gender equity and equality. The 19th Non-Aligned Movement Summit kicks off at Kampala in Uganda. Dr. S. Jaishankar leads India's delegation to the 2-day summit in Uganda. Tensions escalate in the Korean Peninsula. North Korea conducts a test for underwater nuclear weapons system.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world, one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and authentic information.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lin. The meeting of the World Economic Forum in Davos concluded on Friday, and political and business leaders from across the globe met to discuss cooperation around AI, misinformation, climate and diplomacy. The theme of the forum was rebuilding trust. And on the final day, a panel discussion also took place at the World Economic Forum on trends shaping the Middle East region in 2024.
The World Economic Forum meeting concluded in Davos, Switzerland, under the theme of rebuilding trust. On Friday, political and business leaders from across the globe met to discuss cooperation around AI, misinformation, climate and diplomacy. WEF President Borge Brande said in his closing remarks that it is not possible to face global challenges alone.
There's no longer such a thing as a country, company or community insulated from global shocks. And when it comes to leveraging opportunities, it is not possible to do so alone.
On the final day of the forum, a panel at the WEF also discussed trends shaping the Middle East region in 2024.
I think that there's a growing acknowledgement that conflict in the world, particularly such as in the Middle East, must be resolved before one can actually get the trust in the economy, get the supply lines going, get a just system going and stability in the world. So I think that that realization is part of the rebuilding trust that the Western powers and the Northern powers understand that their role in fueling conflict is not going to be helping the global economy.
India's Minister of Petroleum, Hardeep Singh Puri, and IT Minister Ashwani Vaishnav represented India at the annual meet. India's Women and Child Development Minister, Smriti Irani, too, was present to highlight reforms taken in India with regard to women empowerment. The minister said India also announced the setting up of an alliance for global good, gender equity and equality on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum.
Facts, meaning
WEF's annual meeting took place in Switzerland's Davos from 15 to 19th January. The forum provides a global platform for meaningful connections between stakeholders to establish trust and build initiatives for cooperation and progress.
And our correspondent Ishan Garg now joins us from Brussels with an update on this. Ishan, so what were the outcomes of this year's WEF at Davos?
Well, some of the key themes that dominated the World Economic Forum this year were, of course, artificial intelligence, bringing in new trade and investment into a variety of countries, climate change, and on top of it all, probably the Russia-Ukraine crisis. To kick off the proceedings, climate change envoy from the US, John Kerry, highlighted the problems associated with climate change and how the world community needs to step up their efforts to ensure that climate change does not affect several countries. He pointed out that this is a place that the world community has reached from where they can continue to building upon new climate financing models and also start hitting new deadlines that they can set themselves. There was obviously a lot of talk around the Russia-Ukraine crisis, and many of the leaders at the WEF warning that there was probably a sense of Ukraine fatigue setting in, and some of the politicians warning that that should not be the case and that the world, especially Europe, needs to mobilize against that fatigue and needs to up its support for Ukraine. Artificial intelligence, especially led by Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, was a big topic of conversation, as was expected. And that's where a role of India also came into picture, with many of the analysts saying that several Indian states also highlighting their tech capabilities, their AI capabilities, was one of the highlights as the WEF. But having said that, another crisis that is very poignant at the moment, which is the Israel-Hamas war, that some political experts say did not get as much limelight at the WEF as it should have, even though Israel's president was present at WEF and addressed the conclave.
Ishan, so put that into context then, what impact does the WEF have actually on current geoeconomics and geopolitics?
Well, despite several things that it does achieve and several things that may be counted as a shortcoming, WEF remains an important platform for people from different walks of political arena and business arena to come together to discuss policies. One of the examples, perhaps, is the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, meeting with President Vladimir Zelensky, also meeting with representatives from the Middle East, from Israel, gives you a sense of what this meeting can do, what a few days at Davos can do. So it's an important summit that's held every single year, and several political analysts point out that it gives business leaders an opportunity to attract a lot of investments, gives political leaders the ability and the platform to voice their concerns on a global forum, and also have bilateral meetings on the sidelines.
Ishan Garg from Brussels, thanks very much. At the Smart City Mission Conclave being held in New Delhi, the Russian capital of Moscow has set up a pavilion to showcase the achievements and new technologies from Russia that could be incorporated in building smart cities in India. DD India correspondent Dibyendra Mondal spoke to the Russian Minister of Government of Moscow. Now, Sergei Chermin is his name. Let's listen.
So welcome to India, and also here at the Moscow Pavilion of Smart City Mission, what are you bringing for the Indian smart cities to adopt?
That's a great honor for Moscow to be a part of this wonderful show that is dedicated to smart city. Moscow would like to share its experience, how we implement a lot of digital solutions in Smart and Safe City program. We have the biggest in the world video camera system that is supervising waste management, how we make maintenance of the city and security for sure. We present here some face recognition solutions. We present here a lot of products for sustainability, especially that badly need for construction. So you have more than 100 cities at the first phase to create the smart city environment in India, and for sure we'll continue this great partnership with your capital, with other biggest metropolises, and we are very interested that the interregional cooperation could be a part of this great bilateral relationship that we call strategic privilege cooperation between our countries for more than 70 years.
That's absolutely right, sir. But also let me ask you, has Moscow done any partnership with any of the smart cities in India?
We submitted to some of the partners the drafts of the program for cooperation between Moscow and your states, and I hope that in the nearest future we will be a part of this ambitious program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Minister, for speaking to Doordarshan, and we hope that India and Moscow relationship grows further from here, and we will be able to collaborate more for making our cities more smart in the near future. With camera person Sunny Kalra, this is Dibyendu Model from New Delhi for DD India.
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar delivered India's national statement at the 19th NAM Summit in Kampala. Jaishankar touched upon a number of issues, including food, energy and health security. Besides, he also pushed for reform of the United Nations. Jaishankar said that there are conflicts underway. The conflicts' repercussions, they are felt far and wide. Gaza in particular is the focus of our concern. Climate change is increasingly and more regularly disruptive. There are few who have not felt its impact. The triad of debt, inflation and growth, the challenges, these also weigh heavily on the developing countries. Jaishankar added that as the NAM, we, and I'm quoting him, we must respond to these challenges. A multipolar world with a reformed United Nations at its core is key. India's External Affairs Minister also said that by spearheading the African Union's membership, India showed during its G20 presidency that change is possible. This should inspire reform multilateralism, is what he said. Jaishankar stressed that addressing food, energy and health security are critical, as is women-led development. And he also said that connectivity must be prioritized while respecting sovereignty and ensuring viability. North Korea tested a purported underwater nuclear attack drone in response to a combined naval exercise between South Korea, the United States and Japan earlier this week. Let's look at this report.
In a bold geopolitical maneuver, North Korea flexed its military prowess with the test of the HALE 523, a nuclear-capable underwater attack drone in the waters off its east coast. The move is a response to what the country's defense minister deems as serious threats from the US and its allies, South Korea and Japan, adding a volatile twist to the regional landscape. The North Korean ministry spokesman said in a statement that their army's underwater nuke-based countering posture is being further rounded off, and its various maritime and underwater responsive actions will continue to deter the hostile military maneuvers of the navies of the US and its allies. Washington, Seoul and Tokyo conducted joint naval drills this week, involving 9 warships and an aircraft carrier, US Carl Vinson, off South Korea's south coast. The allies announced the drills after Pyongyang tested a new solid-fuel missile fitted with a hypersonic warhead on 14th January. South Korea's defense ministry issued a warning on Friday against North's recent series of weapon tests, calling for an immediate halt. It said that the country's military is thoroughly prepared for North Korea's provocations under a solid joint defense posture with the United States. Earlier this week, Japan's chief cabinet secretary also said that North Korea may carry out further provocations in the future.
We believe that there is a possibility that North Korea may carry out further provocative actions in the future, including launching various missiles. Japan will continue to work closely with the United States and the South Korea and do our utmost to collect and analyze information as well as monitor the situation.
Tensions on the Korean peninsula have been elevated in recent months amid Pyongyang's repeated weapon tests, its recent arms trade with Russia, and a move by its leader to roll back efforts towards reconciliation with South Korea.
Well, global order and global commerce have faced an upheaval amid weeks of attacks in the Red Sea by Iran-backed Houthi militants. And this has disrupted the crucial Suez Canal route as well. Let's look at this detailed report.
Weeks of attacks by Iranian-backed Houthi militants on vessels in the Red Sea have disrupted shipping in Suez Canal, which carries 12% of global container traffic. US has relisted Houthis as terrorists to combat attacks on international shipping. President Biden affirmed this classification and a joint American-British military actions targeting the Houthis.
These attacks against international shipping have endangered mariners and disrupted the free flow of commerce and freedom of navigation. For the past several weeks, the United States, with allies and partners around the world, has made clear that there must be consequences for those attacks. And today's designation follows on our military action last week to hold the Houthis accountable for their actions.
Nonetheless, Houthis again targeted a US ship in Gulf of Aden on Thursday night. The Houthis' campaign has stoked fears of inflation and a rise in energy prices if these attacks continue.
There are some issues related to transportation of oil, which had rather limited impact on the prices. Production is not affected at all, but if one or more than one major oil-producing country is directly involved in the conflict, this may well give upward pressure on the prices.
The US launched new strikes against Houthi anti-ship missiles aimed at the Red Sea on Thursday, as growing tensions in the region's sea lanes raised fears of supply bottlenecks that could reignite inflation.
Still to come here on DD India News Hour. A big boost to India's aviation sector as the US aerospace giant Boeing opens a state-of-the-art campus in Bengaluru in India's southern state of Karnataka. We'll discuss this. NATO is all set to launch its largest exercise since the Cold War. The drills have been named as Steadfast Defender 2024, and they run through May.
मख माने जो है यज्ञ होता है, तो इसी जगह पे जब दशरथ जी महाराज के पास जब कोई पुत्र नहीं था, तो चौथे पन में दशरथ जी महाराज ने इसी भूमि पे पुत्रेष्टि कामय यज्ञ किए थे।
अयोध्या में सभी तरफ भी राम है।
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे।
Divine meets divinity in Ayodhya. This is Mani Parvat.
ये वो स्थल है जब मां जानकी जी विवाह होकर श्री अयोध्या जी पधारी। अपार धन वैभव ऐश्वर्य दिया श्री जनक जी महाराज ने कि हमारी बिटिया खूब सुख समृद्ध रहेगी।
सीता राम नाम कीर्तन,
एक कीर्तन है जो 12 साल का है, चलते रहेगा। 3.5 साल हो गया है ये।
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn, and now to talk about the aviation sector in the light of Boeing's new facility in Bengaluru, we have with us Mr. Bumlunmang Bwalnam, who's the Secretary in the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and Ritu Sharma, who's the head of Boeing Global Enterprises Services India. Thank you very much, both of you, for being with us. Ms. Sharma, let me start with you. How will this facility help girls? You know, pilot training seems to be expensive for most Indians.
Absolutely. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can. Go ahead, ma'am. Yes.
Great. So, you know, this campus has launched a very big initiative in the Boeing, from a Boeing perspective for the country. It's the Sukanya program. The program is all about giving wings to young girls. Girls who, when they are walking across the fields in India, imagining about seeing aircrafts flying, how can they add wings to their life? How can they reach the skies? And the Sukanya program is all about making sure that we give them the ability to fly. So the program is going to induct women and young girls who aspire to be aviators, pilots, and go through a very, very extensive training program and a journey of making sure that they understand and get into the mainstream of aviation and the aerospace sector by looking at diverse career opportunities, right from being women pilots to becoming aviators, for that matter, even joining the armed forces, the Indian Air Force, Navy, and Army, and to see if they can, look forward to become fighter pilots.
Mr. Bwalnam, how successful has the regional connectivity scheme been, overall in taking aviation to the far corners of our country?
Yeah, this innovative scheme, which the full name is RCS Udan, and in fact, many people just say Udan, but I really like it when we read out the full form of that, and that is Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. It's an aspiration that every citizen of the country should get a chance to fly, and it has had an impact. For instance, to give you some numbers, the RCS Udan has facilitated in 76 airports which were non-functional, which were unused, which did not exist, to now become airports where people can fly. So 76, since the time the scheme was launched in 2016, 76 airports have now got activated. Over and above that, through the scheme, as of today, 517 new routes covering places which otherwise would not have been covered are now active. So it has been successful. And finally, the Aam Nagrik, 1.4 crore people have been carried through this Udan scheme, connecting the Tier 2, Tier 3 towns, our hinterland. And we are very happy with the achievements and continue our efforts. Thank you.
Ms. Sharma, what kind of jobs are on offer at your new Boeing facility?
So the Engineering Technology Center offers a lot of real-time engineering and design activities for our products that we manufacture in the United States. So if I may say, engineering across structures, aerospace, electrical, mechanical, software, artificial intelligence. Those are our mainstream job opportunities that we will be able to create out of this facility, because that's where the core engineering work happens, where aircrafts are being designed. The next big thing around aviation, what would be the next breakthrough innovation around aviation, is going to be developed and engineered. But in addition to that, we also have a lot of support-related activities. So people who are looking at careers in finance, in project management, program development, etc. I think those are all additional opportunities that one can explore out of the BITC campus that we've inaugurated earlier today.
Mr. Bwalnam, the minister says that, in the next 20 years, we'll require about 2,000 aircraft. Make in India for the world is happening. But, efforts to promote local design and manufacturing capabilities, tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so what was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister today with the efforts of the Boeing, this Boeing Center itself, is something that will really give a boost, because we must also recognize that this is, for the Boeing itself, the largest investment with the largest number of employees for them outside the USA. So we have now really been recognized as a place to do business, a place where good R&D can take place, where good manufacturing can take place. So this itself is a very major step that has been taken, where our Honorable Prime Minister himself has taken the lead role. And on top of that, we are looking at how we can also promote other organizations. The HAL has been producing defense-related aircraft for quite some time. The new jet fighter was something we were very proud about. Now we are looking along with them and the CSIR, NAL, that we can move into the civil aviation side of aircraft manufacture, and we are highly optimistic that it'll be sooner rather than later.
Ms. Sharma, what is the level of procurement, from India that Boeing has at the moment, and how is it going to step up in a sense?
So the statistics from India perspective, we have over 300 suppliers spread across different parts of the country. Close to 65 to 70% of the suppliers are based out of the state of Karnataka. And Karnataka has been identified one of the major hubs for aerospace and aviation. Today, we do close to $1 billion worth of product, or if I may say, component manufacturing for our products, which are being built in the United States. And this is just the beginning. The campus is going to spiral this to the next level. We are right in the hub of the high-tech aerospace KIADB park, which is like the rock bed for all the other component manufacturers for aerospace and the aviation sector. We do a lot of co-development work. We also make sure that our suppliers are able to deliver first-time quality. So the idea is to just take this, the supply chain that we have in country, close to 300 suppliers, $1 billion to the next level. And I think the campus is going to be a huge catalyst for us to achieve that.
Mr. Wolnam, part of it obviously is with research and development. And we can see that, industry and universities can collaborate. Is the government encouraging such collaboration, sir?
Yes, we do that. And in fact, along with the R&D, there are two other very closely related activities in the aviation. One is the leasing or the financing, and the other is the MRO business. So this entire ecosystem to promote the Indian civil aviation is something that the government has been promoting. For instance, the GIFT City at Gujarat, which is our SEZ, the aircraft leasing has now been taken up in a big way. And what you would have seen in the news that Air India has obtained a new Airbus A350. The leasing transaction was, we are very happy it was done from this GIFT City in Gujarat. So aircraft leasing is again one more thing that we are promoting, and it is moving well. And as the number of aircraft increases, the MRO, the maintenance and repair, is again something which in earlier times aircraft used to be taken outside the country to some of our neighboring countries. And now we are promoting, in fact, recently an expanded setup was inaugurated in Nagpur, and we expect that the MRO will also grow significantly. Thank you.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have in this discussion. Thank you very much, Mr. Wumlunmang Wolnam, Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, and Ritu Sharma, Head of Boeing Global Enterprises Services India. Thank you for joining us and enlightening us on this important subject. Moving on to our next story, NATO will launch its largest exercise since the Cold War next week, with about 90,000 personnel set to take part in the months-long war games. More than 50 ships from aircraft carriers to destroyers will take part, as well as more than 80 fighter jets, helicopters and drones, and at least 1,100 combat vehicles, including 133 tanks and 533 infantry fighting vehicles, are all going to join the Steadfast Defender 2024 drills. According to NATO, in fact, the last exercise of this size, it was the Refronger, and that happened during the Cold War in 1988. And then they had 125,000 participants. India will be celebrating the 75th Republic Day on the 26th of January. The French President, Emmanuel Macron, will be the chief guest, and marching contingents as well as the Rafale aircraft from France, will be part of this flypast by the Indian Air Force.
This year we'll have the chief guest from France. The French President Emmanuel Macron will be the chief guest, and we will have a Air Force contingent from France with 2 Rafale aircraft and 1 transport aircraft.
And the theme for this year is going to be Viksit Bharat, or Developed India.
Honorable Prime Minister has been stressing that India is the actual mother of democracy. In line with that theme of importance of the democracy historically in India, Bharat Loktantra ki Matruka. This will be main theme of this year's Republic Day.
Let's take a look now at some other stories making the news. Ahead of the upcoming Republic Day celebrations on the 26th of January, SWAT commandos demonstrated drills and adventure activities at Delhi Police Academy in Jharoda Khalan, which is in the national capital. India's National Disaster Response Force celebrated its 19th Raising Day in New Delhi. Speaking at the event, India's Minister Nityanand Rai said that the NDRF will train over 70,000 people in disaster management by the end of the year. Still to come here on DD India News Hour, India's Prime Minister inaugurates the opening ceremony of the Khelo India Youth Games 2023 in Chennai and Tamil Nadu. The city of Ayodhya gears up for the grand consecration ceremony of the Ram Temple on January 22. Fervor and enthusiasm transcends geographical boundaries.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. And let's now get you the sports news. At a glittering opening ceremony in India's southern city of Chennai, the capital of Tamil Nadu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi declared the 6th edition of the Khelo India Youth Games open with a vision of self-reliant, progressive and developed India. Let's look at this report.
I declare Khelo India Youth Games 2023 open.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi opened the 6th edition of Khelo India Youth Games that witnessed a glittering opening ceremony decked with cultural performances. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister lauded the players.
This is a great way to start 2024. My young friends gathered here represent a young India, a new India.
Union Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur extended best wishes to the players and expressed high hopes from the rising sports stars of India.
These games are about pushing boundaries and embracing the spirit of youthum. 5,630 young athletes from across the country will compete in 26 competitive sports, will battle it out for the glory, fueled by the athletic zeal and the unwavering spirit of sportsmanship.
The event was also graced by esteemed dignitaries including Governor of Tamil Nadu, R.N. Ravi, Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin.
Table tennis player Sharath Kamal and athlete Shubha Venkatesan were the torch bearers at the mega opening ceremony. Around 1,500 dancers performed on the Khelo India Tamil anthem. The 6th edition of Khelo India will witness participation of over 5,630 young athletes in 26 sports. The event will go until 31st January 2024. Deepika Mehto's report, DD India from Chennai.
An International Monetary Fund, IMF mission team concluded its visit to Sri Lanka today. A statement issued by the IMF said that the real GDP recorded positive growth of 1.6% year-on-year in the third quarter of 2023, the first expansion in 6 consecutive quarters. Further, it said that shortages of essentials have eased and inflation remains contained. It also observed that the gross international reserves increased by $2.5 billion last year, and the team added that despite these positives, challenges remain as those improvements need to translate into improved living conditions for the Sri Lankan people. With India's assistance of $4 billion, the island nation managed to stay afloat by securing essential supplies of food grains, fuel and medicines. And now let's get you all the buzz surrounding the consecration of the Ram Temple at Ayodhya on the 22nd of January. In the heart of Ayodhya, where history seamlessly intertwines with spirituality, a monumental transformation is underway, one that extends far beyond the sacred grounds of the Ram Mandir. As the majestic temple takes shape, the government of India, in a visionary stride, had orchestrated a comprehensive overhaul of Ayodhya's connectivity, propelling this ancient city into a new era of accessibility. It is not just limited to transportation infrastructure, it extends to the overall development of Ayodhya. Ahead of the grand consecration of the Ram Mandir in India's holy city of Ayodhya, a massive 45 tons of laddus are being prepared for. This is by confectioners from Varanasi, and these are going to be distributed to guests and dignitaries at the ceremony. Meghna Dev reports.
Any festivity is incomplete without the inclusion of something sweet, be it in India or across the globe. And for the very important ceremony of the Pran Pratishtha of Ram Lala in Ayodhya, it is also incomplete without the inclusion of something sweet. And we are here in Ayodhya where a huge amount, laddus, the Indian sweet laddu is being made in a large quantity, and we can see that a number of people here are volunteering, making these laddus, making these sweets. To talk more on this, we are joined in. Sir, can you please tell us about the quantity in which these sweets are being made, to whom they will be given, and how will all of this be going through?
1111 months, that is traditional unit, and in terms of number, 13.5 lakh laddus, 45 tons. That is the quantity as well.
So we actually see these all volunteers who have come from Kashi are engrossed in making these besan ke laddus, which has been made with desi ghee, clarified butter we call it in English. And also when we actually see that no festivity, no important occasion is complete without the inclusion of desserts or sweets in India. And this prasad will be reaching the Ram temple and will be distributed amongst the dignitaries and guests who will be coming to attend the ceremony. With camera person Radhe Krishnan, this is Meghna Dev for DD India from Ayodhya.
And Ayodhya's Ram temple shines with radiant illumination, building anticipation for the consecration ceremony on the 22nd of January, blending architectural beauty with a heightened sense of spiritual reverence. As the global community eagerly awaits the consecration ceremony on the 22nd of January and in the Indian city of Ayodhya, The Sanatan Sanstha of the United Kingdom, they've initiated joyous celebrations for the Ram Mandir at the British Parliament, resonating with the divine sound of the Shankh. And our correspondent now, Siddharth Bharadwaj, joins us from Ayodhya in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh with an update. Well, Siddharth, we've been, soaking in all the devotion in a sense. You're right there, and every day builds up closer to the 22nd, just 2 days left. Fill us in with the atmosphere.
Well, first of all, a very good evening to you, Mark. And, certainly the excitement is building up as the big day approaches, the consecration ceremony, which is to take place on January 22nd. Right now, I'm here standing at the Holy Saryu Ghat, and you can see behind me the vibrant lights. The entire region is covered with vibrant lights, and there's a sense of excitement amongst the people, amongst the devotees, tourists and pilgrims who all are coming there. They are very much excited for the big day. They're eagerly waiting for 22nd of January when consecration of Ram Temple will take place. Other than that, there are cultural fests which are going on throughout the day here at the Saryu Ghat. There are different programs which are happening here at the Saryu Ghat, and the entire vibe is completely different. It is giving a happy vibe. Yes. And it's not wrong when I say this, that the entire region is transformed in a very different manner for good in terms of infrastructure as well, Mark, and in terms of ease of commute as well. The entire area, entire Ayodhya is now adorned with vibrant colors, and people here are really happy, really excited for the big day, and they're just eagerly waiting. They're also enjoying the rituals here, Mark, which have unfolded few days back, And
Siddharth, we are looking at, the beautiful
day. There are just 2 days left.
The beautiful images behind you, and perhaps, if your camera could pan a little bit, we could get to see those lights. We could also get to see a little bit of the, of what you described, the different activities, the cultural activities, the religious activities that are taking place currently on the Saryu River. And
yeah, definitely. Like I said, Mark, I'm standing at the Saryu Ghat, and it's a picturesque, atmosphere which you can see right now on your screen. And what you see exactly right now, is the place where the light show happens every evening. And this is a very beautiful light show. People from all walks of life, they come here, they enjoy this light show, and not just the lights, the music which gets played here every evening. The devotees, the pilgrims, tourists, they dance here on the Saryu Ghat. They're enjoying every bit of every moment as the excitement builds up for the big day, Mark. You can see those speakers as well, and the lights also, every evening. It's a beautiful show. It's a beautiful scene every evening here when people gather and they sing and chant Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. This is what we've been hearing here in Ayodhya since the time I've come in, and people are very much excited, and the excitement is in the air, and there's a sense of devotion that is in the air for people as they wait for the big day. And also on the other hand, I'd like to say the security has also been beefed up, as the big day approaches. Different units have been deployed here, like paramilitary force, the ATS, CRPF, RPF, to make sure that the sacred event unfolds safely, securely, and smoothly, here in Ayodhya, Mark.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Siddharth Bharadwaj there in the sacred land of Ayodhya, and telling us a little bit about the sacred, the immersion that he is going through personally. That's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour, but let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lynn. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks very much for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.